Hey everyone, I'm Johanna, yoga and meditation teacher, Reiki master, sound healing practitioner, and sacred cacao facilitator. You're listening to the Vibrational Shift podcast, dedicated to people looking to reconnect with themselves. Together, we'll explore different energy healing modalities, meditations, breathwork, sound healing, and so much more. Are you ready to experience a vibrational shift with me? Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Vibrational Shift podcast. I'm Johanna. Today's episode, we have Anh Chau, who is a certified multidisciplinary wellness expert and entrepreneur. Her approach to wellness combines ancient wisdom with modern techniques and is rooted in her belief that we all have the power to heal ourselves. Anh believes that wellness is a lifestyle and that true health and happiness are not just about fixing problems, but also about cultivating a holistic and sustainable approach to well-being. She teaches one-on-one coaching. She offers group workshops. And she and I actually met because of her sound healing background. We have the same teacher, Geraldine Glass of Crystal Cadence LA. So I hope you enjoy today's episode. She's going to end the chat off with a primordial sound meditation. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and to share this podcast with anyone who you think would benefit from it. As always, thank you and enjoy. Anh and I actually met, like a lot of the other guests from this season, through the wonderful world of Instagram, but we actually share a common thread of where we did our alchemy crystal singing bowl training. We went through Geraldine Glass of Crystal Cadence LA, and honestly, Instagram, I feel like I start scrolling, I find these people, I'm like, what would I do without Instagram? Sometimes it has its positives and negatives, right? But I've come across some amazing sound healers and practitioners. And so that's how I found Anh. And when I was thinking how I wanted to change season 2, I knew that she definitely had to be a part of it. So Anh, if you'd like to just say hello and tell us anything you'd like to share before we kick this off about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm based in the DC area too with Johanna. And like you just shared, I love Instagram in that we find our people, right? Like we set the intention of how do I meet my people? And then we just get to meet. So I love that we were able to connect in that way and also share that bond of sound healing and then sharing the same sound mentor. So yeah, my name's Anh, as Joanna has said, and my journey began about 4 years ago when my dad passed away. And that journey through grief is really what kind of skyrocketed everything into my healing journey, my spiritual journey, and then wanting to help others. And so, because of that, I am trained in multiple modalities. Reiki was the first one. So, Reiki, meditation, Ayurveda, sound healing. And I also work with frequency devices now, Healy and Mag Healy as well. And then coaching. So, that's been my final one. And I really just love being able to see and help people come into balance and harmony so that they can just make positive choices in their life and create an impact that they really want to create and a legacy.
We're actually talking via Zoom right now. And so I can see that you're running one of your Healy devices. And since you were talking about bringing people into balance and harmony and frequency, can you talk a little bit about that before we jump
Yeah,
in?
absolutely. So Healy came into my life about 8 months ago. I've always been interested in like frequency healing. Nikola Tesla said, intention plus frequency equals healing. And I understood that from like a sound perspective, right? Because we work with 528 hertz, 432, which is like Mother Earth. And so when I saw this device and I saw what it could do, it like really interested in me. And then I started working with it before I really started to really share about it, I worked with it first. And what I can see, what it does for me is it supports me in my own healing journey. Like it just makes things move a lot quicker. Basically, it has a quantum scanner. It scans what's in your information field. People use the term quantum field, information field, 0 point field, or the Akashic field, or the Akashic records. It's all intertwined, same terms, but it means the same thing. And so it scans your field, and then it lets you know what's well, it can let you know one, what's running in the background that's keeping you from wanting to meet a certain goal, or it can also show you what programs can support you into coming back into residence. And it has over 100 programs, I think nearly 300 programs at this point now that can support you. And then it also has an aura scan. So it doesn't just scan your energetic aura, but it scans your information field aura. So it shows you what's running in from like your past lives, like so karma, your parents, your grandparents, and then your ancestors. And so when we're having to do this healing work and we're like, where is this coming from? Like being able to see that and then being able to receive the frequencies that support us on the journey. And so things are just able to move a lot quicker so that you can really live in that balance and harmony and be on purpose.
Can you tell us what you're running today? Because you showed it to me before we started recording. And if there's anything you can share about that, I think it's really cool. I think people might
Yeah.
want to know more.
So before we started, I ran coherence on myself. So I'm wearing the Healy device. And then the Mag Healy device is like a bigger device that can be used to structure water. It can also place frequencies into the atmosphere. And then you can also use it on your being, on your body. So right now on the Mag Healy, I'm running coherence in the atmosphere. So all the listeners, everyone that's going to listen to this podcast, they're going to receive the frequency of coherence. And that is alignment. That is like being able to be, it creates like a stability, but also flexibility. And then ultimately balance and harmony with your mind, body, and spirit or heart. So your heart and your intentions are in alignment.
Everyone is going to be able to receive that,
Yeah.
just through listening as well.
And so I'll just invite everyone to set an intention when using coherence. Like, what is it that you want? Like, you can just simply say, like, I am in balance and harmony, or, my heart and mind are in alignment. Like something simple, but just to really set that intention and really feel that.
Yeah, intention is everything, right?
Mhm.
I think it's one of the things that whenever I'm with a group is like we spend so much time talking about intentions so that people really are coming from that place of knowing or at least beginning to identify how it is that they want to feel and what it is that they're calling in.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear more about this device. I feel like this has just definitely
Oh
sparked a
yeah,
lot
just
of
like a tip of the iceberg. So
right.
yeah.
Um, well, shifting gears a little bit, as we think about different shifts that we have in our life, curious if you would be willing to share with us, any kind of shifts that you've experienced in your life and what practices you leaned on to kind of help you move through those moments.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first time I realized that something needed to change was when I was grieving the loss of my dad 4 years ago. And it just hit 4 years ago last week, actually. So I was doing everything that I thought I could. So at the time, I was trying to work with a therapist. I went through like 4 therapists, two of which told me I didn't need therapy. Um, and they told me that because now that I understand, is that when you're working with a therapist, they help you to, like, let's say you're at like a -5 or something like that. They help you to get to 0. And whereas, like, I was already ready to move forward. So, really, what I needed was at the time like a coach or something like that, but or like a spiritual healer, which is what I ended up doing. So um I was like trying to eat healthy and I was like working out, but what I was doing was I was only focusing on the physical. So I didn't feel better. And so when I started to really feel like a dark cloud, that's when I was like, something has to change, because I just felt super negative. I couldn't feel happy in any situation that I was in. And it started to go out into like my relationships with people and my family. And so I was referred to a Reiki practitioner who is also a psychic, um, who's also a medium. So my first session, I was able to talk to my dad, and I was able to actually grieve, like actually cry and let go. And I worked with her for a few months. And then that's when I started asking like the questions of like, why am I here? What am I meant to do? And then that was like the shift that I experienced. And then it kind of like went into crystals. I started working with crystals and understanding um, how to work with intention and understanding the frequencies, and like learning alignment and learning manifestation. So the way I like to look at it is, you set an intention, it's at a certain level, right? Like let's say it's like a high vibrational level, and then wherever you are, whatever you need to do to like release is like how you meet that level. And so, because I was like, okay, I'm setting this intention, and it's really like quote unquote high vibe, and then all this other stuff is coming out like that's not, and I was like, why do I feel like crap? And then I realized it was just all the stuff that wasn't in alignment um with that. So crystals and Reiki was like my gateway, I'll say. And then I learned how to meditate to learn how to drop into my body. Like what I started with was a lot of guided meditations, and I would pick ones that were longer because I knew it just took me so long to drop in. So I would pick like an hour, knowing it would take me at least 15-20 minutes to really fully drop in. And then I would have like, a nice meditation after that. And then from there, other practices, then sound healing, of course, and tea medicine came into my life, working with the subtle plant medicine. Camellia sinensis is the name of the tea plant. And it's such a beautiful practice. And it was those two practices together that really taught me um, or helped me to embody unity consciousness. From there is when I discovered, I was like, okay, I was looking for more. I wanted to start coaching, and I found this coaching program, the Chobra coaching program, which I learned Ayurveda and Primordial Sound. And those are all my tools that have brought me to this moment.
I think for a lot of the people that I've met since I've been on this journey, there's like something that is that gateway for them. For me, it was through my physical yoga practice. It was the first time I found myself like reclaiming my body and really dropping in and being aware. I remember going through yoga teacher training and feeling like a veil had been lifted. And it just so happened while I was doing that yoga teacher training, next door there was a Reiki training happening and they needed a volunteer. And I was like, I'll go in, not knowing what Reiki was. And then that was like my next stepping stone, right? And then with that came also crystals, and then with that came Akashic records and like everything else that starts to kind of unfold for you. And eventually you find yourself using all of these different modalities to help you. And I always enjoy hearing other people's journey through that, and hearing like what it was that got them to the like full variety, right, of like the different pieces that kind of make up our practices. So you mentioned how tea ceremonies were a part of your journey as well. Can you share a little bit more about tea ceremonies, like what someone can expect, anything that can kind of help us paint a picture of how that has been a part of your journey?
Yeah. So the tea spirit came into my life spring of 2021, like right after I got my bowls. And she is a subtle plant medicine. She's grown from a seed in biodiverse environments, and where it's like beyond organic, right? So her seeds, her roots can grow deep and wide and out and wild. And everything, the cultivation, everything is done in deep reverence. And so that's really what you'll experience in the tea ceremony, is the reverence for the ritual of it, for the ceremony, and also for the plant. So when people come to a tea ceremony, I explain a little bit about the plant and how. And so when I say the word medicine, not in like the traditional Western sense, but in the sense of anything that brings us into balance and harmony with life, with spirit, with nature. And that's exactly what you'll experience. It's like, it's really interesting to see people come in one way. And I'm sure you see this in your ceremonies as well, is that they come in one way and then they leave completely transformed. And when you can see like the light behind their eyes, right? And they're like ready to make some moves, make some changes in their lives where they've come to some kind of realization that has helped them heal. When you're sitting in ceremony, for me as the ceremonialist, as the one that serves, we all bow to one another, not just to one another, but to the tea spirit and to all who are drinking tea before us, with us, and after us. And then I purify the bowls in front of the guests as a sign of respect. And then I serve the tea. And the way the motion and like the movement, everything is circular, right? Like just with nature, everything is like circular. And it's with that deep intention and with reverence that you receive whatever you're meant to receive. You'll receive why she, tea spirit, is in your life. And she can move energy within your body for you. She can, depending on your intention, support you in healing something that is ready to be healed, and ultimately just coming in balance and harmony.
I love the way that you described the way that she grows, right? The roots are deep and she's wild and free. And I think about, people in their lives, most of us, that is something that ability to give ourselves permission to be wild and free. I don't know, as you said it, I just thought of it and was like, oh, that sounds so beautiful. And I didn't realize how many parallels there were, because I've never, like I was saying before, I've never been to a tea ceremony. And as you know, I also do cacao ceremony and sound. And the thought of working with any kind of plant medicine and sound, there's that beautiful exchange that happens, right? Like you were saying, people come in and maybe they're a little bit guarded or they don't necessarily know what to expect. But when they walk out of there, they're a little bit lighter. They're getting that balance and harmony that they're seeking. Maybe they don't even know that's what it is that they're seeking, but the plant medicine helps them get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the sound that really supports that, right? It's a supportive, it supports the integration. It also probably amplifies that experience as well. So that's why I love combining sound with pretty much everything that I do because it's so supportive.
Well, I'd love to now maybe turn it over to you and have you guide us through a practice of where you can help bring the audience into balance and harmony with an offering of your choice.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna do a guided meditation. We're going to be working with the 4 soul questions. It's part of the Primordial Sound Meditation practice training that I do. And for those that don't necessarily have like a practice yet, or maybe you want to combine it in these 4 soul questions, incorporating this into your daily practice, it can support you in seeing things clearly, right? And then it's going to help you to make different decisions. But these questions aren't meant to be answered from the mind or from the ego. These are just meant to be received. And so when we're setting these questions out into the universe, and then now you're also receiving the coherence frequencies, you're able to see like the divine, you're able to receive the divine intervention and maybe get rerouted. You'll be able to see the synchronicities that you set forth. So I'm
All
going to,
right.
yeah.
Without further ado, on, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to invite everyone to gently close their eyes and come into a comfortable seated position. And just connecting with your breath. And let's take 3 deep breaths in together, breathing in through the nose, sending the breath down deep into the belly. letting it all out from the mouth. Taking another deep breath in through the nose, sending the breath down deep into the belly, stretching the belly out 4 ways. Hold at the top. And release from the mouth. One last deep breath in through the nose, deep in the belly. Hold. Sip in a little bit more air like a straw. And release. And just returning to your regular, comfortable breathing. And breathing in a way that feels nourishing for you. And inviting in the 4 soul questions into your heart space. And allowing these to be seeds. And allowing yourself to receive. Who am I? Who am I? What do I want? What is my deepest desire? What is my purpose? What is my dharma? And the last question, what am I grateful for? What am I truly, truly grateful for? And releasing the questions, allowing the universe to show you the form. And closing with the 4 intentions for a healthy body and mind. Joyful, energetic, healthy body. Loving, compassionate, open heart. Clear, alert, reflective mind. And lightness of being. And then rubbing your palms together, creating some heat. And placing your thumbs against your heart center. Your hands in Anjali Mudra. We'll close with a single Om, taking a breath in. Taking a few deep breaths into the nose and out through the mouth. Gently opening your eyes whenever you are ready.
Thank you so much for that, An.
You're welcome.
Very relaxing. So how can listeners get in touch with you? How can they follow up with you? All the details, website, social media.
So I'm on Instagram at I am on Chau, which I know you'll drop in the show notes. And then my website is also on-chau.com. All my offerings are on there, and I share a lot about my practices on Instagram as well, and how to live a wellness lifestyle, because I really feel that wellness isn't just like a time block. It's really like it's really moment to moment, and like your lifestyle is your medicine. So
That's nice. Your lifestyle is your medicine.
mhm.
On that note, thank you again. And I hope everyone listening has a great rest of your day, wherever you're tuning in from.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Thank you again for joining me on this week's episode. As always, please be sure to subscribe and to send this to anyone who you think might need it. You can always chat with me on Instagram. I am at Luna Serenity Yoga. You can visit my website, lunaserenity.com. Next week's episode is with teacher, mentor, and friend Bashak. She recently published a book called Uncomplicated, and I can't wait for you guys to hear more about it. Have a great rest of your week, day, whenever it is that you're tuning into this. See you on the next episode.